So I was officially diagnosed with MS at about age 21. So I've had it. I've had the disease, MS, for 35 years, and I was pretty mild for about the first 15 years, till able to be really moving independently, jogging a little bit. But I was starting to struggle. I'd use a walking stick or a cane, um, and just couldn't get a lot of distance and move very well until I started using PoNS. I learned about PoNS by kind of a random encounter with Montel Williams when my husband and I were in Portland, Oregon. We live in Southern Oregon, so it's about a 250 mile north of us. But just happened to be at the same hotel lobby for a conference, and he was. I went over to him, and he recognized my fancy gait, I'm sure. But he was very encouraging and kind of encouraged me to, keep an eye out for PoNS, show me how he could walk backwards and then snowboarding again, and just very kind of good, getting a lot of his life back. So once I knew it was FDA approved and learned about it, I worked with physical therapists in our town who had never heard of it, to encourage them to get, trained, going through the 3-hour free training. Just, it's their time, even though it's not a direct expense. And they were pretty amazed. And there were 2 of them, but you don't need 2. It just happened that once one did it, they were kind of curious, I think. But they were amazed at my improvements. I went in about once a week at the beginning, and then, really you just do it at home. But, it's good to check in. Everyone's going to be different with that situation. But they were pretty impressed with the changes. And we all know with MS, the little things are the big things. So I'm able to do vacations. I just feel like I'm able to go into places that I wouldn't have before. Like just recently, last 3 weeks ago, we went to Seattle to see Madonna. It's kind of a bucket list thing, and it was a lot of people and maneuvering, and I honestly don't know that I would have signed up for that before. And even things like parking further away in our small town and not just feel like I'm circling the block. Taking some walks with my puppy that we're raising, and kind of even just be able to work with her on a leash. It's just a lot of different things that have come up. We're going to be on a different trip. I had a scooter I was going to bring with me, and the airlines at that point wouldn't let the scooter go underneath. Because it wasn't strapped down. There was some new ruling, but we kind of just went about and kind of went for it anyway. And I was able to rent a scooter at the location. But this was a huge, huge place in Cancun. So just having that kind of flexibility was a big thing. When I started my treadmill work with the physical therapist, I was at a speed of like 1.3. Very slow and unsteady. And when I finished with my 14 weeks, I was up to 2.6 speed. I could do a slight incline. It was just, and you can actually see a video of my first and the last session on the PoNS website. It's pretty remarkable, really. And people kind of look at it like, that's not the same person. So I get all kinds of comments. That it's a big time commitment, and I think anything that's worth, I don't know, we haven't had a lot of opportunities, right? So when you start seeing the results pretty quickly, you find that extra motivation. The results kept me motivated, and I had a friend who's finished her 14 weeks and said that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I think it helps to have people to talk to and just know what you're going through.